Welcome back to another episode. Today marks 23 years since Jay-Z released Volume 3 Life and Times of Sean Carter. From the artwork to the track list, it's undeniable that this is a great album. And it continues the legacy that he began to build with Reasonable Doubt 3.5 years prior. This video isn't an album review, nor is that the direction that I'm going in. But in honor of this album, I wanted to look at some of the bars from one of the tracks and explore it with you guys. The track I'm looking at today is Anything, which samples I'd Do Anything from the musical Oliver. Anything is very similar to Hard Knock Life, Ghetto Anthem, but needless to say, it didn't achieve anywhere near the same level of success. Perhaps that's what I should explore here. The same thing doesn't always work twice. Hard Knock Life with the Annie sample was so iconic to the point where it's further been sampled by many other artists. But recreating the success of the Annie sample on Hard Knock Life didn't work here, even though they were barely a year apart. It just goes to show you how quickly the times change and how what might work today might not work tomorrow. I mean, hip-hop has changed a lot since its inception until today. Every year it's been different. The 80s were different, 90s were different, the 2000s were different. And now it's, if someone from the 80s or 90s heard today's hip-hop, they probably wouldn't recognize it, right? It's been changing, it's been developing, it's been evolving. But my key takeaway from all of this is that we have to be malleable and adaptable in whatever industry we're in. We have to be ahead of the time. We have to get ahead of the curve, pioneer, and be leaders in the change, whatever it may be. I quoted Steve Jobs in my last video, and I'm going to do it here because he's got a quote for everything. And I'm going to quote him again in this one. He says, "People don't know what they want until you show it to them." So it might be that Hard Knock Life was successful, but trying to do the same thing again after a year, obviously it didn't work, but it's still a great track, but obviously it didn't achieve the success that Hard Knock Life achieved. The point is, no one knew they wanted Hard Knock Life until Jay-Z gave it to them. But then, by the time he gave them Anything, which was identical or similar to Hard Knock Life, they had already had it. They didn't want it anymore. And that's where the pioneer and the leading comes into play, because that's when you have to bring something new out. The next level after Hard Knock Life. Something like Big Pimpin', for example. And then you give it to the people and they'll be like, whoa, they didn't know they wanted it until you gave it to them. But anyway, that was just something that I thought was quite insightful, and I just wanted to share it for the benefit of someone watching or listening to this. The bars that I'm looking at today, however, are the following. And I quote, "Don't listen to your crew, do what works for you. Standing back from situations gives you the perfect view. You see the snakes in the grass and you wait on their ass. Bite your tongue for no one, and whatever is said, take it how they want, a closed mouth don't get fed." Bro, just come on, man. This is the stuff they don't teach you at school. Heck, majority of people don't even learn this stuff at home because either their fathers are absent or they're too busy doing other stuff, not teaching their kids these valuable lessons. And Jay essentially gives us 5 lessons with these bars. The first is he tells us to lower the noise. The people around us want to give us their own perspectives and their own views. And they could be laced with envy and jealousy and a bunch of other, nasty characteristics. But what we have to do is what works for ourselves, and only we can know that. Next, he tells us to stand back and to observe the situation, whatever it might be. We have to keep our eyes open. We have to see things objective. This might mean that you don't get too emotional, you don't get too worked up about something, so you can have a clear mind. And it also ties into what a lot of people will say when they say, for example, if you're looking for opportunities, you will find them. But if you're not looking, you're not going to find them. So you have to keep your eyes open. You have to be aware. You have to have it in your mind. You have to have the vision. You have to stand back and observe so you can see what's going on. The third lesson ties in with the second, but goes further to say that by observing, we can see the snakes. And when we can see the snakes, we can use their manipulation and their games against them. The fourth is that no one should have power over our opinion. No one should stop us from speaking our truth. What we have inside, the beliefs we have, the feelings we have, the beliefs we have, the convictions that we have. No one should stop us from speaking them. No one should stop us from living them. And the fifth is that you can't control people's opinions. You can't control what people think about you. You can't control how people feel. We can't control how anyone feels. So if that's the case, why bite our tongue in the first place? Why hold back from expressing our convictions in the first place? They can take it however they want. But the bottom line is that a closed mouth doesn't get fed. And what this means is that if you don't do what you got to do, if you don't say what you got to say, if you don't put the work in when you have to, then it's guaranteed that nothing's going to happen, because a closed mouth doesn't get fed. If the mouth has something to say, but it remains closed, then nothing's going to happen. At least by saying, by doing, you are doing what's necessary to give you even a chance to make something happen. Honestly, that's all for this one, man. I needed to record this. My throat is gone. So I'm struggling to even talk right now, but I wanted to put this one out there. It's an amazing track. It's like a father figure talking to a younger person and educating them, giving them game, guiding them through life. And a lot of us need that, to be honest, especially in today's society. And, you know, they say rap is evil, but these men are out here teaching us more than our educational systems are teaching us. But yeah, that's all for this one, man. You know, hit that like, hit that subscribe, leave a comment, share with all your Jay-Z fan friends, and I'll see you lot in the next one in a bit.